let's go ahead and jump into our PowerPoint so that we can have a look at our Zoom rules. Okay, guys. Okay, guys, so just to review our homework. So last time we were in school, we were learning about author's purpose, which is why an author writes a story or writes a piece of writing. For homework, we had a little penguin worksheet where we had to read 2 entries and then decide what we thought the author's purpose was. I'm going to quickly read this to us, and then you're going to help me figure out what you think the author's purpose is. What do you think the author's purpose was for writing this piece of writing? Do you think it was A, to persuade readers how brave male emperor penguins are? To inform readers of the unusual breeding behaviors of male and female emperor penguins? C, to explain how the male emperor penguin successfully keeps its egg warm? Or D, to inform readers of the use of an emperor penguin's brood patch? What do you guys think? What do you think the main purpose was for writing this piece of Pat, what do you think?
I think it is B, to inform readers of the unusual breeding behaviors of male and female emperor penguins.
Correct. Ding, 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 ding. The author's main purpose here was to inform you guys of the weird and unusual breeding behaviors. So it's trying to explain to you and inform you of how strange the penguins' jobs are. So instead of humans, it's actually usually the mother looks after the baby, but here with penguins, it's the father who looks after the baby while the mom goes to get food. And then when the mom comes back, the dad rushes off to get food because he's been very hungry for months. And so the father is able to go and get food when mom comes back. So here the answer is, just like Pat said, to inform you guys of the weird and unusual breeding behavior of female and male emperor penguins. Okay, next one. Now, let's go ahead and start our real lesson. So our lesson today is grammar. And today we're learning about shades of meaning, something that we have learned about before. So we're just going to touch up and review on this. Have a look here. Shades of meaning: large, huge, giant, enormous, gigantic. All of these words are something called synonyms. What that means is these words, they mean the same thing. All of these words mean something is on the bigger scale, okay? Large, huge, giant, enormous, gigantic. They all mean that something is quite big. However, even though they all have a similar or same meaning, they have different shades. So for example, if something is large, it's pretty big. But if something is gigantic, it's much bigger than large. So we could say an elephant is large, but the Eiffel Tower is gigantic. So it's important for us to be able to have an array of synonyms and be able to use our shades of meaning correctly in our writing. Have a look here. We've got 3 shades of meaning words. Ben, can you read them for me?
Cross, angry, furious.
Furious. That one is furious. Okay, Billy, which word do you think is the weakest shade of meaning?
I think the weakest shade of meaning is cross.
Correct. You are right. Cross is the weakest shade of meaning here. If you're cross, you're angry at someone, you're annoyed at someone. The middle shade of meaning would be what? Angry or furious? What do you think, Han?
Definitely is angry.
Good girl, well done. Angry would be our middle kind of shade of meaning here. If you're angry, your blood is boiling a little bit and you're annoyed. You're very annoyed at someone. That means furious is our strongest shade of meaning here. They all mean a similar thing. They all mean that someone is not very happy. If you're cross with someone, it's because they've done something wrong. But if you're furious with someone, it means you're extremely angry because they have wronged you in a very bad way. Let's have a look at these sentences and think about where we could put each word. I threw my textbook out the window, so my teacher was blank. I was talking while my teacher was teaching, so he was blank. I accidentally spilled water on the floor, so my teacher was blank. Have a think about these sentences. Have a think about how your teacher might feel if you did each of these things. Number 1, throwing your textbook out the window. What do we think here? Kimmy, do you think you could finish that sentence for me?
I threw my textbook out of the window, so my teacher was.
So my teacher was. What do you think? If you threw your journeys book out of the window during my class, how do you think I would feel, Kimmy?
Furious.
Correct. If anyone threw their textbook out of the window during my lesson, or even not in my lesson and during school time, I would be furious. I would be so angry about that. Good job, Kimmy. Next, Bao Kang, do you think you can finish this one? I was
talking while my teacher was teaching. So he was cross.
Very good. Well done, Bao Kang. So cross would work here, but actually the answer I'm looking for is angry. And the reason I'm looking for angry is because the last sentence, we have to use the word cross. Does anyone, or can anyone explain to me why they think this sentence has the word cross and not, we don't put the word cross here? There's a word in this sentence that means that we have to put the word cross there. There's a special word in this last sentence that shows that you didn't mean to do something. And it kind of lets us know that we would put the word cross here, because sometimes if something happens and you didn't mean to do it, you can't really be as angry at that person if they didn't mean to do it. What do you think, Noob?
I think it's accidentally.
Very good, well done. So the word I'm looking for here would be cross. I accidentally spilled water on the floor, so my teacher was cross. And the reason I'm using the word cross here is because Noob got it right. Have a look. This word accidentally is an adverb. And if you do something accidentally, it means you didn't mean to. It's an accident. So if you guys were in my class and you were talking while I'm talking, it's going to make me angry as it's really disrespectful and you know that you should not be doing that. Whereas if you accidentally spill water on the floor when you're getting some water from the bottle, I'm going to be cross and ask you to clean it up, but I'm not going to be so angry because I know it was a mistake and that you didn't mean to do it. So well done. That word accidentally lets us know that we should use the word cross here. Perfect. Let's try some more. Okay, guys, perfect work. So as you can see, it's really important for us to have a really wide range of our vocabulary or of our synonyms so that we're not always using the same words. And it's important that we know when the word has a certain shade of meaning. So for example, you wouldn't say the two children talking in the classroom were deafening because that's probably not going to happen. You could say the two children shouting in the classroom were deafening, but it's really important that we make sure that we use the correct synonyms for each shades of meaning. Okay. Now, moving on to our grammar part of the lesson. So today, we're looking at complex sentences, not to be mistaken with compound sentences. Have a look here. Can you help me read this? I would like you to read winter. Can you read all of this for me?
Complex sentences. An independent clause is a simple sentence and tells a complete thought. It has a subject and a verb. A dependent clause has a subject and a verb, but it does not tell a complete thought. A complex sentence is formed by combining one independent clause and one or more dependent clauses. He went swimming even though the water was cold. He went swimming even though the water was cold.
Lovely. Thanks for reading winter. Okay, guys, so a lot of information on this page. So let's just break it down. So an independent clause is a simple sentence that tells a complete thought. It has a subject and a verb. So an independent clause can stand alone by itself and still make sense. For example, here, he went swimming. This is our independent clause. With this sentence standing by itself, it still makes sense. He went swimming. It tells a complete thought. It has a subject and a verb. Here, this is our dependent clause. Even though the water was cold. This does not tell a complete thought. If we put this separately, this doesn't make any sense. This isn't a sentence. Even though the water was cold. It doesn't make any sense and cannot stand by itself. That's why it is independent. That's why it is dependent. It relies on someone else. That's why we can put them together to make a complex sentence. He went swimming even though the water was cold. Now have a look at this page. Let's talk about the words dependent and independent. Can someone explain to me the difference between independent and dependent? Click the raise your hand button if you know, or if you want to have a guess. So I've just lowered all your hands. So click the raise your hand button if you think you can have a go at explaining to the class the difference in between the words independent and dependent. Okay, go ahead, Lily.
I think that the independent sentence is it can stand by its own and it can still make sense, and the dependent one can't make sense when it stands by its own.
Perfect. Well done, Lily. That's a really, really great explanation. So, guys, the word independent means that something or someone is able to be by themselves. So, when you grow up and you become an adult, you are independent. You'll go out, you'll go to university, you'll get your own job, you'll make your own money. But when you are a child, you are dependent on someone. You need someone else to help you survive. So, for example, children are dependents. They depend on their moms and dads to feed them, to wash them, to buy them clothes, to pay for them to go to school, to take them to school. But the older you get, the more independent you become. So now that we understand the meaning of independent and dependent, we can apply it to this grammar rule. A complex sentence is formed by combining one standalone sentence, so one independent clause, and one dependent clause. Let's have a look here. Can you read this sentence for me? Ben, the horse?
The horse galloped after it jumped the fence.
Good. The horse galloped after it jumped the fence. Galloped just means ran quickly. Have a look at this question. Which part of this sentence can stand alone? Which part of this sentence is independent? Look at the sentence. The horse galloped after it jumped the fence. Who thinks they can break down a part of the sentence and tell me which is the independent clause? Which words form an independent clause in this sentence? What do we think?
I think it's the horse galloped.
Amazing. Well done. Have a look. The horse galloped is my independent clause here. It makes sense when we take it away. If I were to erase all of this part, I'm left with the horse galloped, and it still makes sense. The horse galloped, which means the horse ran. So, perfect. Well done. Now, which part of this sentence cannot stand alone? Which part of this sentence wouldn't make sense if it was all by itself? Katie.
After it jumped the fence.
Very good. So the part, it jumped the fence. It jumped the fence doesn't really make any sense. What jumped the fence? Who are we talking about? This is very confusing for your reader. It doesn't tell a complete thought. So this is our dependent clause. What is the subordinating conjunction that links the two clauses? So subordinating conjunction, that's two big words, but what a subordinating conjunction is a word that links two clauses together. Can anyone tell me what the subordinating conjunction is that links these two clauses? So we've got one independent, one dependent clause. What is the one word that links these two words together? Cherry.
It is the word after.
Correct. Well done. The word after is our subordinating conjunction. Let's have a little look more about these. Have a look. Subordinating conjunctions. Can you please read this for me? Lily.
A complex sentence is formed by combining one independent clause and at least one dependent clause. If the dependent clause appears first, add a comma after it. Subordinating conjunctions begin dependent clauses. Some subordinating conjunctions are after, although, because, before, even though, since, unless, until, when, while. Unless it rains, we'll go swimming tomorrow. Unless it rains, we will go swimming tomorrow.
Lovely. Thanks for reading, Lily. Okay, guys, so a lot of big words here. So let's again just take some time to take this apart and really understand what it means. So we've just talked about complex sentences. We make a complex sentence by combining one independent clause, so one sentence that can stand alone, and one dependent clause, one sentence that cannot stand alone by itself. We combine these together by using a subordinating conjunction. So they just mean words that connect these clauses. Some examples of them are after, although, because, before, even though, since, unless, until, when, and while. Something that's really important that we need to remember is if the dependent clause appears first in the sentence, add a comma after it. For example, here is my subordinating conjunction, unless. It is beginning my dependent clause. It rains. It rains doesn't make any sense if we take it away by itself. It doesn't have any context behind it, and it doesn't tell a full thought. Whereas we will go swimming tomorrow does tell a complete thought. So here is my independent clause, and here is my dependent clause. So if your subordinating conjunction comes first to begin your dependent clause, you must make sure that you use a comma here. For example, have a look. We must make sure to put a comma after the dependent clause if the conjunction comes first. For example, unless it rains tomorrow, comma, we will go swimming tomorrow. Or if you want to put the subordinated conjunction at the end, you don't need to use a comma. We will go swimming tomorrow unless it rains. So if your subordinating conjunction comes first, you must make sure to add in your comma. Okay, have a look here, guys. Here is a little acronym that I got taught when I was a kid to help me remember my subordinating conjunctions. So, I saw a wabub. Now, wabub is not a real thing, but what we got taught in school is that a wabub was kind of like a monster that looks like this. So it's not a real monster, but it was something that really helped us remember our subordinating conjunctions. The I saw a wabub stands for if, since, as, when, although, while, after, before, until, and because. So when we get back into school, we'll do a little bit more about this and we'll take down some notes about this. But because we've only got 45 minutes on our online lesson today, we're not going to do that. So if you use any of these subordinated conjunctions when you're making a complex sentence, make sure that you try to remember your acronym, I saw a wabub, to make sure you can try and use different subordinated conjunctions. Have a look and let's do some practicing. Underline the dependent clause, then write the subordinating conjunction that begins the dependent clause. Number 1, after we swim, we will eat. Who can help me underline the dependent clause in this sentence? What is my dependent clause in this sentence? What sentence cannot stand alone, or what part of this sentence cannot stand alone and doesn't make any sense by itself? Winter. Can you please underline the dependent clause in this sentence? After we swim, we will eat. What part of this sentence doesn't make any sense by itself? Perfect, good job. So after we swim, it doesn't make any sense by itself. It doesn't tell a complete thought. However, we will eat does tell a complete thought and does make sense. So here, our dependent clause is after we swim. The subordinating conjunction that begins the dependent clause is what, Trixie? Good, well done. The word after is my subordinating conjunction. It links together these two clauses. After we swim, we will eat. Okay, number 2. People dove underwater until they were out of breath. what do we think is my dependent clause here? Which part of the sentence cannot be by itself? It doesn't make any sense when we take it away from the other part of the sentence. Pro, what do you think? Can you underline the dependent clause? Good job. Well done, Pro. They were out of breath doesn't make any sense. It doesn't have any context behind it. I don't really understand what's happening. It doesn't tell a complete thought. However, people dove underwater is an independent clause. It tells a complete thought, and I understand what it means even when it's by itself. Okay, what is my subordinating conjunction that links these two clauses together? Kimmy?
I think it is the word until.
Ding, ding, ding. Good job. Well done. The word until links these two clauses together. Okay, guys, this is the last thing I want to do today. Have a look at this little picture. Use this picture as inspiration to write a complex sentence using the subordinating conjunction if. I'll go first. If the lizard bites me, you will hear me scream. I want you guys to help me come up with a sentence. So think about it. Click the raise your hand button when you've come up with a sentence. So I want you to come up with your own complex sentence using the subordinating conjunction if, just like I have done. I'm going to lower everyone's hands. Now click the raise your hand button if you've got your own sentence. Okay, Pat, go ahead.
If the iguana waits patiently, it might get its prey.
Oh, very good. I love that. If the iguana waits patiently, it might get its prey. Very good. Okay, guys, that is the end of our lesson today. We've ran out of time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you your homework for the day. So let's have a look. Our homework is, ta-da, Reader's Notebook, pages 132, 133, and 139. So please make a note of these 3 pages in your homework. What I would like you to do is I want you to complete them in your reader's notebook and then take a picture of each page you have completed, upload it to the Google Drive link. I will ask Miss Ling to send you the link to the Google Drive folder. Really good job. So good to see you all once again. Have a wonderful rest of your day and make sure not to forget to upload your homework. Goodbye.